Welcome to another show. I go by the name Doug Banks with more skills than Tom Hanks. Let's talk about this. Team USA, the basketball squad, right? The squad that everybody thought for sure was going to win gold. Even with the scrub roster that we basically sent over there. We basically sent our reserves over there. And everyone thought that USA was powerful enough to win the gold. And now they're getting ready to compete against Canada for the bronze. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not even sure if they win that. They lost to Germany 113 to 110 or 118 to 110, something like that. But before that, they lost to Lithuania as well. In an embarrassing fashion. So the past 3 games, Team USA has went 1-2 in the last 3 games. And now they're getting ready to play Canada for the bronze. And I'm not even sure they win that. Maybe Noah Lyles has a point. Maybe his point was stronger than most even considered initially. People laughed at him. People said he needed help. Kevin Durant, right? I got something for you, easy money sniper. I got something for you. Talking about he needs some help. But he's the one beating these international players. You ain't. You got eliminated in the playoffs, in the NBA playoffs, 2 of the last 3 times by international players. So it seems like you could probably, instead of dissing the brother who has done something in track and field that no one has done, no USA representative, no, not anyone has done, time and time again, as far as winning multiple gold, you should probably take some notes from him. And as I recall in 2020, you struggled against teams in that Olympics. You struggled to beat teams in that Olympics. Y'all barely got past. If it weren't for the likes of, a Devin Booker stepping up in certain moments, but primarily Draymond Green, the person that called you the person that basically got you out of Golden State. He was the one that helped you win gold. Doing all the little things, running the offense, making all the hustle plays, all the little things in the areas where the team was kind of lacking, shoring those areas up and ensuring a gold medal victory. I recall you struggling in that Olympics. So really, it seems like you may be the one that needs help. Just saying. And that being said, you did put up the numbers, you did step up score, and you did turn it around the second half. But I recall y'all losing to Team Africa and stuff like that. It wasn't like y'all weren't world beaters in the 2020 Olympics. So as I said, maybe Noah Lyles has a point. And his point is stronger than what people understand. Yes, some of the best talent in the world plays in the NBA. But once the Olympics happens, some people made this point, a lot of those guys go back to their respectable countries and play for them. So yeah, the NBA is the best league in the world. But you winning the NBA title does not mean that you are a world champion. You're a world champion when you're competing against other countries. It's hard to call yourself a world champion when representatives of other countries are on your team. And you only have one team in that league that's from another country, which is Canada. The Toronto Raptors. So I get what Noah Lyles is saying. I'm gonna show you where his argument is stronger, because I know a lot of people are, thinking of, well, the semantics. Like, okay, I get it, but that's technically true. No, I think it's true, more true than you understand. There's been a shift of the league going towards more international. The international circuit is taking over the NBA, and there seems to be a diminishment of American players leading the league. Like, if you know this, the league is not as dominated by American players. The last 5 MVPs of the NBA have all been won by international players. Let me repeat that. The last 5 MVPs have all been won by international players. The last American MVP was James Harden, 2018. And B just won this most recent one. Jokic won one. Giannis won 2 of them. And I'm trying to think, did Jokic win more than one? So it may have been 4. Either 4 or 5. But those are the 4 right there. Giannis won 2. Jokic won 1. I know that. And then B just won 1. So like the last 4 or so, for sure, off the top of my mind, have been won by international players. Let's look at the 2020s. Everyone knows about the bubble championship that no one really counts. I'm not really going to talk about that. 2 of the last 3 championships have been won by international superstars. Jokic, obviously, this one right here, leads the Denver Nuggets to their first ever championship, Finals MVP. And then, of course, Giannis Antetokounmpo leads the Bucks to their first championship in the last 30-something years since Lou Alcindor, Finals MVP. And then we can even take it all the way back to 2019 when, yes, that championship was won by an American superstar and Kawhi Leonard. But guess what? That was an international team, Canada. So if we go all the way back to 2019, like 3 of the last 4 championships, minus the bubble, have been won by either an international team or an international superstar. Something to think about, is it? Here's another thing. And this is how, and some other podcasters have touched on it. This is how the league has made a massive shift towards being more international. As we know, historically, the game, and even now, I know a lot of teams shoot a lot of threes, but the game is very much still an inside-out game. And if you know this, that's how Denver won their championship. With a dominant big, and then they built around Jokic, right? Same thing with Giannis. Giannis is a dominant build. They built around him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even with the bubble, I'll throw that in there. And Anthony Davis, he's not. He wants to be a point guard, but really, he should be playing center. He's really their dominant big. They put pieces around him. Obviously, you got LeBron, whatever. So the game has changed in a lot of ways as far as how the 3 point line is the 3 pointer is weaponized for a lot of teams, but the game has very much relatively still been played inside out. Your most dominant bigs in the NBA are foreign players. Every last one of them, dang near, are foreign players. There's not a dominant American big in this league right now. Your best American bigs are rotational guys. Guys like JaVale McGee, Montrezl Harrell, Tony, I think his name's Tony Allen. Played for the Brooklyn Nets and now is with Cleveland Cavaliers. Got the fro like Ben Wallace. Plays a lot like him too. Guys like that. You don't really have any dominant American bigs in this league anymore. JaVale McGee is another. Did I mention JaVale McGee? I think I did mention JaVale McGee. It's interesting how he's one of the most dominant American bigs in this league. And he was on Shaq in the Fool all the time. But he's one of your best American centers in this league. He's got 2 championships. Well, no, 3 if you count the bubble. Oh yeah, and then Robert Williams III, up in with Boston, very solid big up there. But at best he's a rotational guy. He's a system player for that team. He's not what you would call an elite big. All your elite bigs are foreign guys. Joel Embiid, who just won the MVP. Giannis Antetokounmpo, who won back-to-back MVP. Jokic, who just won MVP, a championship Finals MVP. Giannis and Jokic have. Even Embiid in 2019 was a shot away from playing in the NBA Finals. That that infamous Kawhi Leonard shot away from playing in the NBA Finals. Even Karl Anthony Towns from the Bahamas, Serge Ibaka from Africa, DeAndre Ayton from the Bahamas, Sabonis, one of the better bigs in this league for the Kings. Also from Europe, from overseas. Now you add in Victor Wembanyama, 7-foot Kevin Durant from France. So your dominant big men are pretty much foreign international guys. So America's not even dominating in the most basic, like the most foundational part of what makes a basketball team anymore. It used to be a given to have, dominant American bigs. And this all started all the way back, way before, I'll say all the way back in the 90s, with the likes of Hakeem Olajuwon. He opened the door for those international guys to start coming through, especially those international bigs. 2 championships, 2 Finals MVPs. He was the start of that. But there used to be a given to have a dominant American big. Long gone are the days of Shaquille O'Neal, Patrick Ewing, even though I think his roots are like Jamaican or whatever, but I think he was born in America, you know what I'm saying? Went to Georgetown. Long gone are the days of Moses Malone and Dr. J and Ralph Sampson and the Admiral, Tim Duncan even. Long gone are those days. Back then the Euro guys at best were rotational guys, solid guys. You had a few exceptions here to the rule here and there, like Hakeem Olajuwon, who I just mentioned. But for the most part, they were your rotational guys. Guys that you plug in and be serviceable. That began to kind of change with the likes of San Antonio, and I will even throw the Kings up in there with Peja Stojakovic, 3-point specialist. We begin to kind of see the international circuit really make its impression on the league as years went on, and now it's quite evident. If not for the likes of Stephen Curry, I mean, what's not to say that this league no longer belongs to the Americans for real? Because your international guys are winning the MVPs. Your international guys are winning the NBA Finals. Your international guys are winning championships. And now, as you can see, it's becoming quite evident. Oh, and I didn't even mention Luka Doncic, who came in as a rookie and dominated. Said how easy it is to dominate in this league. How much easier it is to score in this league than it is overseas. It's now tougher to play overseas than it is here in the NBA because they let you get away with so much. And they allow a lot more, for higher scoring because they think that's what people want to see. So in essence, and as a result, it has made the league softer. So your Euro players are coming over here having an easier time. It's tougher to play overseas. The last dominant American big, by the way, was Dwight Howard. And now all of a sudden he can't play in this league. So there's an obvious agenda there. But the point is this: who else do you know? Like what other dominant? There aren't none. The closest thing to it, to someone a potential dominant big power forward point guard, Zion Williamson. If he can put down the Krispy Kreme donut, he could definitely have that. Someone I could see leading the league for 15, 20 years, but he got to get his head right. He got to get around the right people. That's a whole nother conversation, though. So Noah Lyles' point is very valid. How can you call yourself the best in the world, American athletes in the NBA? How can you call yourself the best in the world when you're not even dominating your sport right now? Steph Curry's your saving grace. I mean, of course, you got other guys like Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Dame Lillard. The Dame Lillard's not dominating the sport. He's a star in this league, but he's not dominating the sport. James Harden, they at least got pretty far in the playoffs. Collapsed to Boston, but he's not necessarily dominant. He's one of the better stars in this league, but he's not dominating the sport like that. Kawhi Leonard, he's been hurt. So, a healthier Kawhi Leonard, okay, you have a case there. Kevin Durant, he's too busy trying to formulate super teams everywhere he go and failing. Got embarrassed again by another international player. He getting outplayed by these international guys. Talking about, Noah, you need some help. No, you need some help, Kevin Durant. You the one getting embarrassed by international guys. They winning championships over you. They passing you and winning championships over you. So maybe you're the one that needs help. So yeah, like I said, how can you call yourself the world champs when the American athletes in this league aren't really, at least in certain positions, I would say at the guard position is still pretty much dominated by American guys, right? Especially Steph Curry, who's the saving grace of this league, who they seem not to showcase, who they seem not to make the face of this league. But he's a saving grace for a lot of American athletes. Otherwise, at this point, the NBA, the National Basketball Association, might as well be the IBA, the International Basketball Association. Because the past 4 to 5, possibly 6 years, this league has been dominated by international guys. Steph Curry is your saving grace right now. Kawhi Leonard, I even throw him in there when he's healthy. You know, those guys. Kyrie Irving, even. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Durant. Those guys. But those guys are aging up there. They're getting up there. But again, as I pointed out, James Harden, what has he done? How many championships has he won? Dame Lillard, how many championships has he won? Kyrie, what has he done with his own team? You know? And now, even if Kyrie were to win something now, guess who he's with? Luka Doncic. So do you see what's going on here? Do you see what's happening? Curry's your saving grace right now. He's got 4 championships, won in 2022, you know, with his team. But even that team had Andrew Wiggins, who was a big part of that championship. International guy from Canada. So you got to see what's going on. You got to pay attention. You got to see what's happening. Noah Lyles' point is very strong. And I would strongly consider what he's talking about. To say you're an NBA world champion is kind of getting far from the truth, and it's become evident in this FIBA tournament. I think this is the wake up call Team USA needed, though, because I knew they was gonna come up short. I knew they weren't gonna win gold. This is a good wake up call, and I think they're gonna send the whole cavalry for the upcoming 2024 Olympics, and they'll win that easy, you know. But Team USA, y'all not the US in basketball. Y'all not where y'all used to be anymore. These Euro guys can play. These Euro guys have either in a lot of ways matched your talent level or are passing it. Victor Wembanyama is set to take over the league. Y'all better pay attention. Y'all better see what's going on here now. Noah Lyles is more than correct. Now, I just broke it down for you. Stuff that people ain't really thought about for real. Well, shoot, man, this your boy Doug Banks, man. I ain't want to make this too long, but, you know, leave your comments, reaction, you know what I'm saying? Does Noah Lyles have a point? I think he does. And I just gave you the reasons why. Look at where the league is headed. Look at what's been going on the last 4 to 5 years. And I'm out. 1.